What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing my little course, I guess you could call it, how to create comic books with Procreate, and today we are looking at creating comic book panels. This is a page from my upcoming graphic novel, The Amazing Red Bee, an all ages spectacular that you don't want to miss. The mailing list will be up for it shortly. So we're taking that page and using that as our template and our example today. You can see I have 4 panels on the page, and I'm just going to go over the process of how I create comic book panels in Procreate. There are a couple things to go into before I get into this little tutorial. One is there are brushes out there that if you want to use brushes to create comic book panels, more than welcome to do that. There's an artist, I think Ateo Monero, sorry if I'm butchering your name. He creates a comic book page or a comic book panel brush. I will pop that up on the screen right now and provide a link for it in the comments down below or in the description down below. And yeah, so I've downloaded that. I bought that from him, and it is rather interesting, but I find the way I do it is pretty simple and easy to use just by using the drawing assist feature in Procreate. The other thing I wanted to cover is you can see these blue lines here. This is a comic book page template, and this I've purchased and downloaded from DJ Kaufman. I will pop that up on the screen right here. So he creates some awesome stuff. I have downloaded his brushes before from his Gumroad page, and in this template, what you can see, I'll take off this background and the extras that are come in this one. He creates a 9-panel grid, or a 6-panel grid, or a 3-panel grid. But beyond that, he has the whole template that what would normally look like a traditional comic book page if you're drawing on a physical comic book page from a publisher or something like that. So I've downloaded this from him because it's the right specs and it's the right size of a traditional comic book page, and I just find that easier to draw on, so I know I'm in the right proportions whenever I have to resize this. Pop up my thumbnail here, which I've enlarged already. And so yeah, let's get into it. So what I'll do here, I have dropped the opacity because it's normally that size of, brush color. But I've dropped it lower. I'm creating a new panel. This is going to be for panel borders. And what I'll do is I'll go into Drawing Assist, right, or Drawing Guide. I've already had this working already, so it's already at the number of pixels I want separating the lines. But if you wanted to change that, all you would do is go down to here, grid size, and then just higher or lower, depending on how you want this to work. What I do sometimes is, let me change this back to color here, done. What I'll do sometimes is, let me take off this red, put on the extras, and you can see the gap between these panels in the template. So I'll go back to Edit Drawing Guide, and I'll make sure that the grid size is about where I want it when it comes to the difference between comic book, the gutters in between the panels basically. And this one looks to be about 60-ish or so from here to here. And it's not lining up correctly because the grid lies on a different plane, kind of, so to speak, than the template. But that looks about the size I want to keep. So that's what I'll do. I'll keep that. I'm going to change this to a little bit darker. You can change the opacity of the colors there. And change the colors of the lines and the opacity. So if you want it dark, you want it super light, keep mine around 60 or 50% or so. Okay, so we're done there. All right, go back to that color. You see? There we go. Okay, so now I got my grid there. Turn my lines back on. I'll turn this off. And now what I would just do is go in here and draw the panel borders basically. I'm on here, and what I've done is I just used the monoline brush that's in Procreate. I've created my own spots that I want it at. Sometimes I'll use 20%, sometimes I'll use 10%, or sometimes I'll use 5% thickness of the brush. Usually I keep it at 10 or 20. I'm going to keep it at 10 for this one. And now I can see where I want my panel border, and I just go through that by first doing panel borders, tapping on that, hitting Drawing Assist, and what Drawing Assist will do will keep me from drawing crazy lines, I have to stick to the grid. And because I have to stick to the grid, I can draw straight lines perfectly, basically. And so right here, and now because I've separated the pixel width of these lines, I can draw on this one here. Let's go right there. And the next one down, right there. And I'll do the same thing down here. Right there. Next one down. Oops. I like to keep kind of the whole line in order, because if I try to do it one side and then pick up and do the other side, sometimes the lines don't match up right away. And since I do have drawing assist on, I can just keep it all in the picture on the screen on the iPad, go straight across. And now what I'll do is, using the blue line guides from the bottom, do that. Do that. And do that. And then I have 2 panels in the middle. So what I'll do here is kind of guesstimate of where I'm going to want these to be cut off. And it looks like I'm probably going to do it right around here. And you can see I'm going over because I'm going to erase the middle parts right now. All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels set up. Perfect. What I'll do is go back to here, tap that, turn off drawing assist, and now I can draw whatever, right? Go to my eraser and just erase these lines here. And the reason I turned off drawing assist while I'm erasing is because if drawing assist is on while you start erasing, you will still be stuck to those drawing assist guidelines, which isn't horrible. You can still get it done, but if you're over a little bit, then you have to only draw in straight lines. This way I can kind of control the brush myself and just erase where I want to erase. All right, so that's panels 2 and 3. We'll come back here. And I might be a little bit more careful when doing this normally, but right now, for the sake of the video and just the instructions, this is kind of the gist of what I'm doing. One more erase spot here. And you can see you can zoom in quite a bit to make sure you get everything there. Okay. And so now we're all set. And the last thing I do is on the comic book panels, comic book panel layer, I'll fill in the outside with white, because that way, let's go back to here, go to pick the red color, and let's say I'm just drawing outside of the box, right? But when you fill in the outside of the panel borders with white, everything that's outside of the panel borders will turn into white, and that will be all blocked off. So it doesn't matter if you draw outside of the borders. If you're trying to draw something and you draw past the borders, you don't have to cut it off, because it's going to show. The white color on the panel borders, which are at the top of all your layers, is going to cover over it, and you won't see any of that drawing outside of the panel borders. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What we can do, turn off drawing guide, and I'll get rid of the lines. Turn back up my opacity on this layer for my roughs, and you can see you got panel borders there now. Like I said, you can adjust the size of the different pin that you're using, so you can have thicker panel borders or thinner ones. Same thing's going to take place when you're drawing speech bubbles, which will be in our next video. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and that is a simple, easy way that I create comic book panels for my comic books. Like I said, this is a page from the amazing Red Bee, an awesome all ages graphic novel that will be coming out soon. Mailing list for it will be up soon, and I will let you know when you can sign up for that. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you liked about it. If you have any other tips or tricks that you use when you are creating comics. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.